This new drug amplifies emotions deep within you. I think it'll really help. Everyone has times where they wonder about their purpose.
Evan won't be in today. He has a personal issue.
No, they all. This feels more serious than worry. I'm worried you're depressed. I think it'd be wise to increase your penicillin dosage.
They're not working.
Let's give it a couple more months.
I've been having a really hard time lately.
Take this.
I've been having some side effects from the medication. Blurred vision, forgetting things, sore throat.
I need help.
I need help.
I need help. I need help. I need help. I need help. I need help.
You're not a psychiatrist, you're a drug dealer with a fancy office.
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
I'm good. It looks like something else is about to play.
Oh, okay. Let me shut it off. It's funny.
Hi.
Yeah. Let's see.
How you doing?
Good afternoon. Now you're in California. I'm in New York City. Wow. What a wonderful. So far away, but we're so close.
Here we go. Yeah. If I put my headphones on, then you'll actually be in my body. That's how close we can be.
Awesome. Awesome. So how is everything in California? Like, are you guys like really hot and warm? And like, in New York today is 95 degrees.
Yeah, I'm sorry to see that you're suffering. Last year we had a 121 degree day. 120 degrees. I'm not saying that to take away from what's happening to you, but no, we're not impacted by this particular heat wave. It's the Northeast.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. So tell me a little bit about. Do you still remember how we met?
Yes. I mean, it was only like 2 weeks ago or something, right?
Oh, I think longer than that.
Okay.
Yeah, longer than that. Yeah. We met on Clubhouse.
We did meet on Clubhouse.
Yeah. It's amazing.
You want to talk about Clubhouse?
Let's just talk 2 minutes about Clubhouse.
Okay, 2 minutes. I'm setting the timer.
How do you like it? Do you like it?
I do like it. I am not on every single day. There are a few rooms and resources that I've discovered that are, there's a lot of bang for my buck, like I go in, I meet a lot of great people. I'm able to generate really good things that I can do for other people because there's this real sense of generosity that is flowing through there, people helping other people. Mm-hmm. And I just think that there's a really high return on investment in terms of I'm just meeting really good quality people but I think if I spent a lot of time on there, it could end up being detrimental. Yeah. So I'm trying to do. What about you?
I have joined Clubhouse maybe sometimes in March. So now is like 4 months. I find it very intriguing because I had no expectations. What is it? I didn't read about it. I just kind of jumped in. A friend of mine just introduced me. So I think I have met some really great filmmakers. I met you. I met some. I sometimes I feel like people on Clubhouse are so smart. And it makes me feel like so tiny and so small because they're so smart. But then other times, I feel I can contribute too. So I actually had started to teach people how to use iPhone to shoot documentaries, to shoot films. So we've done 15 episodes.
That's of you teaching people?
Yeah.
That's fabulous. So you're touching on something that I think is a really big aspect of this particular app or social media is that it forces you to refine who you are, what you're up to, and what you have to offer very quickly and makes it so that you can communicate that succinctly. And that has really shaped my own understanding of myself. Like, just like you said, oh, I realized, oh, there's something I have to offer. It's very specific. I teach people how to make movies on their iPhone. And now I'm doing that. And the things that I have really refined on there is I'm teaching people how to turn their personal stories into intellectual property. You know, sometimes that's sometimes that's an article, sometimes it's a short film, sometimes it's a feature to write, sometimes it's a TV show, and really encouraging people to do it. And I'm doing that through one-on-one meetings. I've been toying with the idea of maybe doing like a group, webinar or whatever. But like, I like the personal approach. I think it's a very tender thing to do, a very vulnerable thing to do, and people appreciate. Like, I had one guy that I've been supporting, and it's a very difficult story. You know, he was thrown into prison by the Taliban solitary confinement. 40 members of his family were killed, and this was like many years ago, but the Taliban is back on the rise. And so he actually texted me this past weekend and said, I don't know who to talk to. Are you available? Like, my family's trying to get out, and they could be killed, you know? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take that call. So there's this, like, I'm touching on, like, you have to refine who you are, you know, and what you have to offer very succinctly and very quickly. But then there are these relationships that are developed, and then it goes beyond just the app. And the other thing I'll say about the app, so that's one thing. The second thing that I have landed on is that and this is something I've done in the past. I mean, all these things I've done in the past, is I help people find finishing funds for their documentaries. And then now, since I've been out there pitching my own unscripted shows, I've been talking to people about their unscripted pitches. And if they're very far along and all they really need is to, you know, meet the network or whatever, I've been taking a look at some of these projects and seeing if it's something I feel I can really help them with. So those are like the three things that I've been offering. And then the other thing that I want to bring up for you is I find that when you meet somebody face to face, all these judgments and biological things go off, where you're like, how do they look? Do they look like me? Can I trust them? Do they look like somebody I know? Are they part of my, you know, gender family or my history family or my family? You know, am I scared? Am I feeling a sense of, you know, is my life in danger? Like, there's all this stuff that goes off. But in the audio world, there's like this, all those barriers are missing. So it's just, you're just dealing with the voice. And if the voice, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's like you can actually handle that dialogue, and you just get this sense of intimacy really, really fast. And that's part of what I think is the magic behind that app.
Yeah, that's so well summarized. Yeah, it's like one sensor is shut down, which is the look, you know, and then you're focusing just to hear what the other party has to say, right? And I find most people are genuine. Most people. I cannot say everybody, you know. There must be some kind of wacko there, you know, and we kind of know, you know. But in most cases, I think I gain so much from on it than than not gaining. So anyway, so Clubhouse is great. Brings people together in a very unique way, unexpected way. Yeah, like you and me. So, yeah. Tell me how to say your whole name in your way.
Yeah, Andrea Shreeman.
Andrea Shreeman. So Andrea, you wear a lot of hats. You are a writer, you are a director, you are a executive producer. So can you please share us a little bit about how were your upbringing like? Like when you were younger, and you know, where were you born and who are your parents were? How did you become in this world of entertainment and writing and filming and stuff like that? Yeah.
Well, I was born in a place called, it's a horrible name for a city. It's called Lynchburg, Virginia.
Lynchburg.
But then we moved very, very soon after that to a place called Roanoke, Virginia, which is where I grew up. It's a 100,000 person town in the Blue Ridge Mountains in the southwest corner of Virginia, very close to Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, North Carolina. And it was idyllic. The only thing about it that was not idyllic is that my parents are Jewish and they raised us Jewish. And while I really loved my Jewish community growing up, there was a definite like fear and, people didn't like Jews in the South. They tried to get me to convert to be Baptist. I even got a phone call. It's Baptist country. It's Jerry Falwell country. And, it's true. This is very true. And it's actually a heartwarming part about Roanoke is, the church that everybody goes to. That is like the number one thing. And I don't know, it's compared to like, when you show up at somewhere in LA, people always say, how is the traffic? Or what's the weather like where you are today? Like things that people really share. That's like this common conversation. The common conversation in Roanoke is, how was the sermon today? And, they know you by your church. It's really interesting. And I find that now to be a very heartwarming part of it. But I remember being taunted as a kid. I remember people thinking I had horns. It's just a lot of ignorance. But then, when they get to know you and they like you, then, it's one for the team. It's like, hey, they met a Jew and they like a Jew.
Yeah.
And then I've slowly kind of, I've leaned out of that as part of my identity. And I do lean in sometimes because it's nice to gather, but I haven't belonged to, a synagogue or anything like that since I grew up there. I tried to, but I have some interesting stories about that. My parents were like, back then we had an upper middle class, which we don't really have anymore. And I think my parents were that, but also like my mom was, worked for the state.
Yeah.
So, it was the long haul to being upper middle class, but it's kind of like it was really interesting. She worked for the Department of Disability, and I remember the day she got the job because I was in first grade, and she had left teaching to raise the kids, and she got the call, and I remember her just jumping around like so excited, like, yay, I'm going back to the working world. And she did that job for 33 years.
Yeah.
And, became a supervisor. And then my father, they're both from Philly, by the way. So
Awesome.
even though I was raised in the South, I have this like Northeastern sensibility. My mom also was very into the arts. She took every single art class and art history class that was available at our local community college. And she also went on these like trips to Europe to discover art. She was also into travel. She and my dad went all over, Israel, Europe, Eastern Europe, Australia, Canada. I can't remember everywhere they've been. So sorry to whatever part of the world that is. But I learned a lot of this from my mom, like the idea that my art was supported. My parents always were hungry to know what else I was doing and would come see my shows and, appreciated my writing. They even invested, small investments like under $15,000 in projects, and invested, I split my education costs with them, but I went and got a master's. So they were willing to, contribute to a master's degree. And I think that's a basic background very basic of my parents and how it contributed to to me as an artist and as a creator. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I always curious about people who are writers. I meet a lot of writers, and I would just guess you have to read a lot, right? At a very young age. Is that a very basic sort of a thing for someone to become a writer later? Are they just naturally a very good expression in writing, or do they always read a lot at a very young age?
I don't know. I mean, for me, I started writing. I wrote poetry was the first thing I ever wrote, and I published a poetry book when I was in 5th grade. So that was my way in, and I did read it quite a bit. But I also am a slow reader, and I've always been a slow reader. I do think that being able to be a writer, particularly, it takes diligence. So I feel like you don't necessarily have to be well read, but it really requires diligence and scheduling and commitment and a lot of refinement. So you have to really be committed to delivering something.
Right. So so you are a writer, and now writing a script or writing other things, they're different, right? Like, how did you become a script writer and writing for film?
Well, look, pretty much almost everything, my pathway, I would never recommend to anyone else in pretty much any area. But I'm happy to tell you how I did it. So for me, I read a lot of books on writing, was the place I started. Ed McKee's story, Sid Field, Save the Cat is an excellent book. I like John Truby's material. I've listened to a lot of his commentary on writing. You can download his classes. And I always try to be reading something while I'm writing, because it'll remind me of, sound principles. So what I did was I just started trying it, and I, wrote some pretty bad stuff. And then I started actually writing with partners. And that is a piece that I will say I do recommend. Not necessarily that you need to write something with a partner, but that partnership in any like business endeavor or creative endeavor I have found to be really part of the success of it. And I'm always reminded, I listen to a lot of podcasts about building businesses. Kara Golden does one. She's the woman who started the company Hint, the Hint water company. And then also Guy Raz has one on NPR, How I Built This. I think I've listened to every single episode of that, hundreds of episodes. And one of the things that they talk about in terms of funding businesses is that they're more apt to, it seems like, I've heard this a lot, that businesses get funded when they have multiple entrepreneurs who are starting them, and they are less likely to fund you if you're a single founder, and that sometimes they will attempt to partner you with a founder. So that to me is evidence that there's actually a metric behind the partnership. So then I started writing with partners, and I have gotten some, very, very far with some really wonderful projects that I had co-writers on. My first film that I directed, a short film, I had a co-writer on it, and a lot of partnership around that as well. So yeah.
Hey, well, thank you so much. So would you like to introduce us to another clip? Tell us the first clip we played. I'm not sure if everybody saw it. So the trailer we just played. Tell us a little bit. We can play again,
Oh, sure. So this is Side Effect. Side Effect is a really good story. So in terms of like how it got made and what that project is, but it's a commentary on not only mental health, but mental health providers. And I guess I'll tell you the whole story because you've already seen the clip. And then if you want to play it again, you can. This is the trailer. And the story of this actually leads to a really great hack for filmmakers. So I'm going to tell you how it got made, and then I'll tell you the hack, and then we can watch it again. Unless, you can stop me at any time and interrupt me. Seems like I'm talking for a long time. So if you want to just interrupt me and ask questions, please do.
Okay.
This got made because I've been to Sundance several years now, and in 2000, I think it was 19, I met this young couple. They're a little younger than I am. They were volunteering and I was volunteering. We were both volunteering for Women in Media. And I was just watching them and they were like, they had their stuff together. And then I was like, so they caught my attention. But then the wife, Rennie, her name's Rennie Grames, and I sat next to each other during what is one of the most inspiring events that Sundance puts on every year, which is called Women in Sundance. And they have they get the best speakers, like Gloria Steinem and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Hillary Clinton, amazing speakers. And we were sitting next to each other and we were just in awe. And when it was over, we looked at each other and we're like, we're going to help each other. Like whatever it takes, we're going to help each other with our careers. And 6 months later, we saw Women in Media, or 5 months later, something like that, was put out a call for, hey, we're starting this new short film program, and we're going to choose 3 projects, and you just need to go find a script and, enter it, and then, we want female filmmakers, and we're going to support you. So with her as the lead actress and with me as the director, we went and we looked for a piece of material, and we found Side Effect. And it's written by a buddy of mine who is a professor of film at University of Memphis. His name is Marty Lang. He's got a lot of stuff out there in the zeitgeist. He works with the Duplass brothers and, has a lot of great stuff that he does just beyond being a film professor. And we loved it. Very tight, doable, shootable in like 2 or 3 days. And we entered in the contest. Yeah. And in the final, it was kind of the final hour. And they were like, sorry, we can't accept this. It's written by a man. And I was like, what? But I'm a woman. I'm the filmmaker. She's a woman. Who cares? And I was like, okay. So we put it aside. And in the 24 hours remaining, I actually went and I grabbed one of my features. Yeah. And I took the first 15 pages of it and I chopped it down to a little short for them. I entered it and I became a finalist with the other project.
Wow.
Which is a great little project that we nicknamed Max Wrigley. That's a great project that I can't wait to work on, but it's so on the back burner right now. Yeah. And then we said, okay, we didn't get in, but let's make this anyway. So they live in Utah. I flew to Utah. I was the only person outside of Utah on that set. And they just have all these amazing relationships. So her husband's name is Boston McConaughey. And I think that's how you pronounce it. And we made the movie and they ended up editing it. And Boston did all the visual effects. And it was a great experience. The actors were all from Utah. Just really great experience. Then we go to enter it in festivals and boom, the pandemic hits. Okay.
Oh gosh.
So we entered 21 festivals that we got rejected from. But I did get like this call from Los Angeles Shorts International, which is like one of the top festivals in the world for shorts. And they were like, hey, we love your thing. You're a finalist. We just want to ask you a few questions. So I was like, I think there's something here. I don't think it's bad. I just think competition is big or that people are changing what they're doing. We don't really know. Yeah. So we finally got accepted to, we premiered in April at Kansas City Film Fest International.
How long is the film?
10 minutes.
Okay.
And then I also had friends tell me like, this is amazing. Like I'd never done a thriller before, you know, it's totally like a genre departure for me.
Yeah.
They were like, we think this can change your career. Like I've heard all kinds of great, but we were like, you know, let's keep trying. So here's the hack.
Okay.
So what we did was,
yeah,
we ended up, you know, they have all these different promotional things on Film Freeway. And in like November of 2020, after going through like, you know, 10 months of rejections, I registered us for this thing called Trailer of the Week.
Trailer of the Week. Okay.
So normally it's $150. Yeah. But if you're part of their gold program, which is also kind of a deal, it's $10.99 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm also gold. Yeah.
Right. But if you're entering, like even one festival pays for it.
Yeah.
Because you get reduced rates. Well, it cut the fee in half. So now it's $75 to be Trailer of the Week. But it was 6 or 7 months lead time. So our Trailer of the Week didn't even come out until June 14th, a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And it comes out, and starting June 14th, all these offers start rolling in. We got 9 offers for full free entry into the festival.
Wow.
And then we got an additional 330. And by the way, they're still rolling in offers to enter festivals at 20, 30, 50, 85% off.
Wow. Awesome.
So we set aside a budget. We're like, okay, we'll do up to, whatever, $500. So we ended up spending another like $450 and we entered 20 festivals. And so, and by the way, that only happened a couple weeks ago. And we now have gotten invited. We just got a special selection, official selection into the Big Sur Film Festival in 4 categories. We got Best Indie Short, Best VFX. Oh, here it goes.
Sorry. Yeah.
Best Indie Short, Best Director, Best Actress, and Best VFX. So I just think it's a great hack, and everybody should do it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's watch the 55-second trailer. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm not muting us. Okay. We'll just have to be quiet. Okay. All right. Here we go.
This new drug amplifies emotions deep within you. I think it'll really help. Everyone has times where they wonder about their purpose.
Evan won't be in today. He has a personal issue.
No, they all. This feels more serious than worry. I'm worried you're depressed. I think it'd be wise to increase your penicillin dosage.
They're not working.
Let's give it a couple more months.
I've been having a really hard time lately.
Take this.
I've been having some side effects from the medication. Blurred vision, forgetting things, sore throat.
I need help.
I need help.
I need help. I need help. I need help. I need help. I need help.
You're not a psychiatrist, you're a drug dealer with a fancy office.
Wow. Amazing. Side effect. Awesome. Thank you.
This new drug.
All right, so let's put this to sleep. All right, thank you. That was wonderful. It's so dramatic, and that's a very short trailer. My trailer is like 2 minutes and more. So the shorter, the harder to cut, isn't it?
I just always think, usually, I mean, my 2 rules of thumb are, the piece has its own length.
Yeah.
The piece, there's a length that it wants to be. And, so it's hard to come in sometimes. And then shorter is better. Always I'm wanting more. So if I have an idea that I want it to be, 90 seconds or under, great. But this one just ended up being a minute.
Yeah. So your role in this particular thing, work is you are the writer? Did you direct?
No, Marty Lang wrote it. I directed, and then
You direct.
but then also, so I was the on-set director, but then Rennie ended up doing so much in editing, really, contributing so much to the post-production, the artistic delivery, that we also added a director credit for Rennie as well.
I see. Wonderful. Wonderful. So,
And I mean, I have other credits on the film, but director.
yeah. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. So, what exactly is executive director? That's so, the word is like, it's so vague.
Executive
Could be everything, right?
Executive producer.
Yeah. What is an executive producer? Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was, there's a joke about it, but I'm forgetting the joke, so we'll skip it. So when I see that, if it's on television, then I say that's probably a head writer. Executive producers are either head writers or maybe someone really high up at the network. But in film, executive producer usually indicates that they have either financially contributed to the film or they connected you with someone who financially contributed to the film.
Okay.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I get my credit for a couple different things. I executive produced, as a head writer on 5 short series, and I show ran those. Although, it was more of a writing thing and less of a producing thing, because executive producer indicates that you're also doing some of the producing work. So there's that. I also got an executive producer credit on a short series that was on Comedy Central, and that's because I put that deal together. I introduced the parties that then made it happen. And then I get executive producer credit on, I have one on a documentary. The official credit for that particular documentary is director of fundraising, but the function is executive producing. And that was bringing the finishing fund to that project. And then there are other executive producers who showed up, I put a little bit of money in, but I didn't write a big check, but I got other people to write big checks.
Well, that's a way to go.
And then in television, I now have an executive producer / showrunner credit on a show that I created. So if you're a show creator, you're going to get that. And then now there's another show that I am an executive producer on that I'm responsible for, again, bringing all the parties together, because I know the people on the network side and I know the creators. And I'm also, it's not just the introduction, I'm also doing like substantive contribution to how the show is shaped, how it's pitched, the pitch materials, all that stuff. So what the eventual show will be, but I'm one voice in many on that. Does that explain it?
Yeah, definitely. In general, I was just always a little bit confused about, producer, executive producer. There's more producer, co-producer. There's a lot of producers. Yeah. So now, tell me a little bit about, from writing, from directing, from producing. If you were to just pick one thing you really enjoy doing, which one?
Directing. Yeah. That's where I'm headed. I mean, I think I am. You never know. It's like you think, what is it? You make plans and God laughs. It's like, But what I've been really kind of starting to shape my life toward just directing commercials, just episodic directing for television. So that's the vision for, pretty much all I'll be doing in like 2 years.
Yeah. Is there anything currently people can see on TV as your show?
One of my films, it's a short, is playing on Roku and some other over-the-top services.
Oh, what is it called?
It's called Candle.
Candle. Okay.
Candle. It's actually a musical film.
Oh.
The song is by I'm forgetting what she's going by right now.
Oh.
Her name is Jamie Kyson, and she's married to James Kyson, the actor.
Okay.
You know James?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
You probably know him if you saw him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you see that movie Yesterday?
Yesterday?
You didn't see Yesterday?
No.
Oh, okay. He has a really great. I mean, he's been the lead in lots of different television shows, but he had like a supporting role in this movie Yesterday, which it's just on Netflix. It's a great comedy, I think. And actually, Yesterday is something that I've always done for my son. So it was nice to see that, like, hey, it's in the zeitgeist. Other people do it too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she wrote the music. She's the singer in it. And Candle, you might be able to catch that. It's on like FilmFlix is the channel.
Oh, film.
I don't know if I have anything else that's on right now. No, but so what I've been out there working on is a true crime show that's called The Long Arm of Darkness.
Uh-huh.
And it is still available if you'd like to get into the bidding more. So we haven't signed the deal. So there's not a lot I can say about it, except that it is a personal story. There was a point in my life where two of my friends, unfortunately, were murdered.
Oh.
And so it tells that story.
Wow. So shall we watch one of another reel you have?
What do you have over there? What are you thinking about?
What I have? Okay, I'll tell you. We have Sienna Burning trailer. Sienna short film. Oh, we have a Sienna short film. How short it is?
Nah, that's 10 minutes. Let's watch the no, I think it's 5. Is that 5 minutes? Let's watch the trailer.
Okay. Trailer is 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what is a Sienna Burning.
Sienna Burning this is the first story. It's the first thing I ever directed. And yeah, this is pretty cool too. I don't have my little story in a nutshell like I do for Side Effect, but amazing partnership around this. The actress, I'm blanking on her name. I'm sorry. I have to look it up. Hold on. She's pretty famous television actress.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm in big trouble because people are going to know her name.
Trouble.
I'm in such big trouble. Uh-oh.
Well, it's okay.
Bill Cosby's been released from prison. He's out again, guys. Watch out. So that is Ruth Connell, who is very well known for playing the witch on Supernatural, one of the witches on Supernatural.
Okay.
And she plays twin sisters, Sienna and Suzanne. And that was so fun to do. Yeah, she just knocked it out of the park. And of course, that took a lot of like visual effects to pull off. And that was my friend Dave Perry, who was the DP and the editor on the film, who was at the time based in good old Roanoke, Virginia, but has since moved to LA. I'm actually going to step out while you show this because my dog is kind of barking. All right, so I'll be back. Enjoy.
Yeah, I'll remove you from the thing. I'll remove myself.
waste. You need money. Is that what this is about? Yeah, no, that's the baby's room.
You okay in there?
I don't know.
Just lay there then. Sienna's here. She's crazy again.
I'm gonna call the police.
I haven't seen or heard from my sister in 3 years. I got a message she wants me to be here, so here I am. No Sienna.
Miss Foster, this isn't a twin study. It's an addiction study.
I'd keep my expectations low if I were you. Will you stay?
Hi there.
We're back. Beautiful. Yeah, very nice. Was another is it what do you call that? Thriller?
No,
what
this is definitely a drama.
drama? Okay.
Definitely
Okay.
a drama. And this was such a great project. So I mentioned Dave Perry.
Yeah.
He was the director of photography, the editor, and he did all the effects.
Yeah.
One of my favorite effects that he did was those. Did you see the twin girls?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Those girls?
Yeah.
Those little girls had like blonde hair, like my color hair,
Oh yeah.
with a little, and he colored their hair in the movie, like every single freaking little frame red.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, because I guess we didn't really think about it. And then when the final product came around, we were like, their hair really needs to be red. Anyway,
Yeah.
so very talented. Love working with Dave. In fact, we've done like 3 projects together as a DP and director.
Yeah.
And he's also a director too, but now he works in LA a lot as a director of photography. And then I had a co-writer on that. Ooh, hello. Starting to get dark.
I feel like I was really dark, so I'm adding some light. Yeah.
And then my co-writer on that was Tom Spitnail,
Yeah.
and who's also local in Roanoke. And then, Ruth, I knew from an acting class.
Mm.
And, she's if you go look her up on IMDb, she's very accomplished. And
Yeah.
she was willing to come out there and do that with us. And it was so generous. But I was able to put her up in like the, 5+ star hotel.
Yeah.
And it was just really amazing. And then what else did I want to say about that? Just a lot of support from the town, your hometown.
Yeah.
And I always imagined shooting my first movie, as a director or writer or whatever in my hometown. And then, the whole town just really supported me. Just, we worked with because it's about addiction and, how addiction tears apart families and, repairing that. We worked with the Roanoke Rescue Mission.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a question.
Nikila Cole has a question for you. Can you see?
So the way you directed twins was amazing. Can you please tell us about some of the challenges and solutions you found? Sure, Nikki, that's a great question. So we had a double. And we got very, very lucky. That was like a casting magic that happened. It was a young actress who actually also now lives in LA, Anne-Marie Soltis. And we needed a perfect like hair replica. And she does have, at the time, I think we dyed her hair red, but we also like had this amazing stylist who captured her, was able to make headpieces that matched the Ruth's hair. So that was a big one. Just logistics of like when point of view where the camera is and what you're seeing. So you always just wanted like Anne-Marie's face to be like this, like you could barely see it. And with good action and good camera positioning and great, hairstylist and who worked with a couple wigs, and those are the things you really needed to think about. And so they were always working with each other, and they both played both roles, and they had to know all the lines of both sides, and it was really fun. It was one of those like really fun filmmaking puzzles that creates these specific world of limitations that then you need to work within. Great question, Ricky.
So this is a 10-minute short? How long? So how long, like how many times do you shoot a feature like that? Because I have never done feature before. I mean, I have never done, well, not feature. I have never done narrative for film before. So
how many days does it take to make?
Yeah.
So I think I've shot all of my shorts in 3 days, 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
The rule of thumb is like approximately 5 pages a day. And there's a lot there. However, there's so many things that go into a scheduling, and there are certain films or television shows that sometimes can shoot well over 10 pages a day. But part of that has to do with movement. Do I have one location, or do I need to move to a bunch of locations? So always having one location. So they say, like, when you're going to write your first feature or whatever, try to make it in one location with 2 actors.
Yeah. That is the fact of your budget. The more location you have, right? The more day or night and different cities, or with the different props, then you are getting more and more. Your budget is getting higher and higher, or the more personnel you have, right? So
but the real, for me, what I've experienced so far, and this changes when you start to hire big budget talent, because that becomes your biggest expense. It's what puts more time onto because objects, places, props, locations, you can always make a deal. Right? With a location. Like, maybe this location costs $20,000 a day, but your brother's sister's cousin's wife knows and you can get it for $3,000 a day or whatever. So you can always get a deal on those hard goods. And there's certain ways that you can budget a film to be micro budget, or you could do that same micro budget film and you can make it as a tier 1 union feature. But so there's flexibility there. The thing that you do not have flexibility around is time. So yes, when you have multiple locations, that means you've got to pack up everything and everybody and move it to the next location. And even just doing that, you could burn a half a day or a whole day just moving and resetting everything up and da-da-da-da-da. So, shooting in studios and, having fewer locations, it reduces your time. And so it's the time that's the expense, because you could hire somebody for $100 a day in certain locations, and that's fine, or really 200 is probably the base right now. But like, you can hire them, but then if you have to use them for, 30 days instead of 10, that's where the expense is greater.
Right. Definitely. Right. So, so beautiful. Have you considered of making a feature film?
And yes, I am actually casting a feature that I wrote right now.
Oh, really? So tell us a little bit about that.
So that is a film that started out as a partnership with a wonderful writer by the name of Gregor Collins, who came out with a book called The Accidental Caregiver. And I think he also has I don't know if it came out yet, a sequel to that book about he was an actual caregiver for this woman that they made a movie about. I think it was called Woman in Gold. And she was a Holocaust refugee who, anyway, her name's Maria Altman. You can go look her up if you want. And I wanted to make something about end of life. And he's a friend of mine. And so we ended up partnering on the original story. Well, that was in 2008 or 9. So a couple of years later, my company, Prudent Pictures, bought the rights to our screenplay at that time. And then I kept working on it and working on it and working on it and working on it, and got it to the point where finally I'm attaching talent now. And it took me a while to kind of find, with my own voice, what is this meant to be? So he does have a credit on that. The Writers Guild will determine what that credit is. I think it's going to be story by for him, but again, it's up to the Writers Guild. And then it's called Best Death Ever, and it's a comic look at taking end of life by the balls.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how long you're projecting to have this film?
It'll be out in 2022.
No, me the length of the film.
It's like a 95-minute.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. It's amazing. So I wanted just to thank people who have been with us, and thank you so much, Nikki, being with us. And please, do you have a YouTube channel? Do you?
No, I used to.
Okay.
I shut that thing down.
Okay.
I'm on Vimeo.
Vimeo, yeah.
And Instagram are probably the places that, and then LinkedIn. I really use LinkedIn a lot.
Oh, great. Yeah. So, I have, this is YouTube, our talk right now. So please consider subscribe to my YouTube channel. I take YouTube channel very seriously, slowly developing it. Yeah, I think I have like about 5,000 subscribers now.
You do? That's amazing. Can you just say, so I'm so excited about your movie. I know this is about me, but your Yang Gang documentary, can you tell a little bit about, I want to hear a little bit about what's been going on with that.
Oh, thank you for asking. Well, I was slowly sucked into a movement where people support Andrew Yang. So I started to follow Yang Gang. Yang Gang are people supporting Andrew Yang. They call themselves Yang Gang in a very loving way. Gang sounds like bad, but they really are very very beautiful people and very dedicated and selfless people. So I followed the movement for a whole year when Andrew Yang was running for president as a Democrat candidate. So I just followed them, and I documented everything with my iPhone 11. I wasn't really thinking I was going to make a documentary, but I have been, shooting a lot of videos. So I just love documenting it. So finally, when Andrew Yang suspended his campaign, and then a month later, it was a pandemic started, which is March of 2020. And then I started to view my footage. I had about 200 hours of footage. Yeah. So I start to view them, and I start to think. It took me 7 months to do the editing and to put together, because it was not a character-driven film, because I don't have 5 people that I can follow them back and forth and back and forth. Usually a documentary is very effective to follow someone or a bunch of people. But I'm following them. I went to 12 different cities and in a year. So I always meeting new people. So that's why I name our film called My Yang Gang Diary, because it's really a diary. It's like a, walk through with the dates and locations. So finally, I put it out, start to apply for film festivals in January of 2021. And we got into 8 film festivals, and we won 3 Best Documentary Feature Awards from Toronto Documentary Film Festival. Not TIFF, okay, not TIFF. Toronto.
But still, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then Rome International Film Festival. and then from film festival, International Film Festival Manhattan. So we have 3 trophies now.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
I just watched
available.
a little bit of it. I watched like a couple different snippets, but I'm excited to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll send you the whole thing. I think
it's on, isn't it on YouTube?
YouTube, I took it down because I only left it there until June 22nd because Andrew Yang was running for mayor of New York City. So I left it on YouTube trying to make an impact. But now on 22nd, he did not do well. In other words, he lost. So I took it down on 23rd. But right now the film is on Vimeo on demand. So people can still go on that, pay a few dollars, they can watch.
Yeah.
But I will send it to you. I'll send you a free one.
Award winning. Multi-award winning.
So anyway, it's very interesting because I did not really had a huge plan for doing this, so it's kind of organically just happened. And although it's not organic, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of thinking and planning, putting together. I edited the whole thing myself, so it was not easy. I cannot say it easy, but it's a very personal. I added more later on. I actually added more and more narration in it, so you will hear some of my narration, which was not originally planned. Because I usually do not like to narrate my own documentary. But this one it worked. Yeah, you have to see the whole thing.
Yeah, I'd like to.
I think you will cry.
I definitely will cry. Hey, and I also want to thank the folks who came out to watch this live and anyone who's watching it not live. Thanks for hanging out with Ching and myself today.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I know a lot of people, they are going to catching up later on because this is a live, going to be live on YouTube channel, on my channel forever. If I don't take it down, so people can see it like a half hour later. It's a live. It's a video. So yeah, thank you so much. Now, let's see. Anything else we want to play for our audience? Let me see. If I have another clip. No?
Yeah.
No?
I think that's good.
Okay, that's good. All right. So it's almost 5 o'clock.
You can go see anybody can go see those my stuff on video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why I put my prudent pictures right here. Because on some things, I'm Andrea Shreeman, out in the world. But other things, I'm prudent pictures. So like on Vimeo, I'm prudent pictures. On Instagram, I'm prudent pictures.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Sometimes I'm Juhl Media. Sometimes I'm Ching Juhl. So
bad branding.
Yeah. and Andrea's biography is in the description, and in her biography, there's a link. I also showed you guys. She's very organized. She has a link. It's called Linktree. Right? Linktree. Yeah. And you just click on that. You can see all her social media, right?
Almost stuff.
Almost.
Yeah, everything. And even some of the trailers are there. And my reel is there. There's those link trees. They're cool.
So I understand you do a lot of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is something I do not do enough. So I need to pay a little bit more attention on it, because I do have a LinkedIn, but it seems like it's kind of nerdy for me. Tell me why you like so much about LinkedIn.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. So it's just business.
Oh, okay.
LinkedIn is for business.
Oh, yeah. Can you really attract people to talk to you about, make offer to you on LinkedIn? Because all these years, I don't remember I ever get a job from LinkedIn.
Yeah, there are times when I have paid for premium versions of LinkedIn. And that was when I really wanted to be applying, specifically applying for things on the more corporate level.
Yeah.
And there are, I'm not necessarily saying don't invest in it. There may be other reasons to invest in it, but what I find is that there's a certain set of people who are active on it for business.
Yeah.
And you can occasionally spark a meeting.
Yeah.
Like a 15 or 20-minute meet and greet. And that's a way into connecting with somebody that you just didn't have that, a more robust relationship with prior.
Yeah.
And I think that is, I think it's worth it for that, and also for my branding. Like I decided that this whole year was going to be about branding 2021 and that, I started at one place at the beginning and by the end I'd be in another place. And so for me to be shaping my brand, who I am, through in this professional environment, is really, I think, important to me. I mean, I think I definitely love sharing all that stuff with my friends and in the friend community, but I want to be putting myself out there in the business community in a certain way. So that's why I use it.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about when you write. Do you have a certain time you write better in the morning, or you write better like really late at night? Do you write in your own space, or you write better in a coffee shop? How does that go?
So I think this is very personal. Me personally, I can have no distractions. I remember I had a friend in high school. I remember talking to her. We were about to take a test the next day, and I called her, and she was high. She was like, she had smoked marijuana, and she was like, she's like, if you study high, you got to take the test high. I was like, what? How can she even, and she was like listening to music, and she was like all this. And I just think people are different, For me, I need no distractions whatsoever. And I used to be a night owl in terms of like my work. And but now with this guy, that's my 8-year-old Maverick, who has this picture over here. I have a lot of additional responsibilities beyond like my carved out work time. So if I can't really stay up lots of nights.
I see.
Do that anymore. So, as long as I carve out a time when there's going to be very few interruptions or none at all, which is ideal.
Yeah.
That's good writing time for me. And I'll usually use some kind of accountability, or I'll just set an alarm and I'll say next 3 hours, all the socials off, and and also sometimes you'll get thoughts that are distracted thoughts during the writing time, and I'll either just write down and deal with them later, or I can really feel those moments that my body wants a rest, but I'm like, gotta stay in it. You only have these 3 hours, that kind of thing.
Do you write on your laptop, or do you write with a pen?
I write on I'm in a computer. I've been using computers since like 1988. But it's a different kind of experience to write things out. So occasionally I will definitely write things out, free write, organize, like all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
It's interesting. So, I sometimes, I tell you, like when I was doing my editing film, like this Young Gun piece or some other piece, I actually make a lot of index cards. I write things on the index. Like I say, if I go to 4 different states, then I have 4 different colors index cards. And then I will write down, like if there's 15 people I interviewed, I label them on the index card. And then at the very, very beginning of the editing, I actually lay my cards on the floor. I just try to visualize how I'm going to do that. So, it's interesting. Like sometimes,
that's really, really good. I think it's really good to be tactile like that.
Yeah.
Be able to touch things and
yeah.
Have you ever used Final Draft to write in?
No, I have not.
So Final Draft is probably the most well-known screenwriting software.
Oh, okay.
They actually have, they can reduce your scenes to the cards. So you can look at all your stuff and move them around, But I do think there's just a whole other experience. Okay, one of the things that I do when I write, if I need to give my brain a break, is I'll go to this, which is very similar to like putting the cards down, is I'll go to this, I'll draw. I'll do some drawing, and it just lets my mind kind of relax and, unravel a little bit. The online kids, it's called Art for Kids Hub, and I discovered it when we were in the pandemic, and they have just these simple art, short art videos, and you just draw along with them, and it just relaxes me. So I try to use some of those,
Yeah. So give one advice for people who try to make it. Say they're like around 20 years old. They want to be a writer for television or film. Can you give them a little advice?
Well, the first thing I'll say is I'm available to talk to you. I will do a mentorship conversation. I especially love talking to young people who are transitioning from education into the working world. So please contact me, DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn, and I will talk to you. And I've helped quite a few people get jobs and introduce them to people high up at different places. And I like doing that. I think it's something that I wish maybe would have been done for me. And I have gotten certain help along the way, but it's something I love doing. So I'm not going to speak to writers. I'm going to speak to anybody in the entertainment field whatsoever. If you want the biggest thing you can do to help you understand how the business works, and you want to understand it, and you want to, from a business point of view, get a job in an agency, get an internship at an agency, work at any agency for 6 months. ICM, CAA, UTA, WME, even a smaller agency, because you'll hear what agents are talking about, and it's where all the deals are made. And you'll start to, the other thing is read the trades, read Variety, read the Hollywood Reporter, listen to The Business, which is and there are a couple other podcasts that I highly recommend. The other thing is merit matters, but relationships matter more. And I love saying that everyone succeeds, because everyone succeeds. You may be in an acting class or a improv class, which by the way are great for real life too. Or you may be in a writing class or whatever, and you could look around and not everyone will end up being a writer, and not you could be getting, in a film class in your undergrad. You could look around and not everyone will end up being a writer, a director, or a producer, but you know what? There are so many more jobs, and some of those people will go on to be high-powered agents. Some of them will go on to work in PR. Some of them will, but it doesn't matter. That is success, and everybody knows everybody. So that PR person can't get everything done without everybody else they know in the industry. So your merit matters, but your relationships matter more. There are plenty of people who have jobs and work in the industry who suck. That doesn't matter, because they got the job and they got it because of their relationships, and they will learn from where they are, and that's okay. And shouldn't matter to you either, by the way.
Right.
Because it takes all of us. So, and they're good at something. Right. They're already good at the relationship part. You need to get good at the relationship part.
Yeah.
So those are my little offers right there. I hope that's
Thank you so much. All right, time to do anything else you want to touch on? Should we do rapid fire? Rapid fire!
Okay, all right. Yes, I'm excited about the rapid fire. I would like you to do that again. I guess you asked me if there's anything else I want to touch.
Yeah.
I just want to say I have so much gratitude. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. Thank you for valuing what I do, what I'm doing in the world. Thank you to everyone who has watched this, who continues to support art, creators, artists, film, TV, stories of any kind. Everybody's story matters. And I'm just grateful that you took a moment out of your life to, listen to my experience and my story. So thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to talk to me. Thank you. It's just a miracle of, social media, how link us together in one way or another. I'm really grateful to your appearance and sharing your specialty and your talent with us. Thank you so much.
Okay,
All right.
do it again. Do it again.
Do it again.
Do rapid fire. Do that again.
Okay, let's do rapid fire. Okay. All right. So rapid fire is just like a short question, short answer. Okay. Hopefully it's short. Sometimes it leads to longer answer. Okay. What is your favorite food genre?
My fusion rock?
What is your favorite food genre?
Oh. Just food genre. Food
Right.
genre. Okay.
Right.
Food genre.
No.
I mean, I guess I'd say sushi or salads.
Okay.
I'm like a salad master. I can
good.
make anything into a salad.
Really?
I love chopped salads and green salads and fresh.
Are you a vegetarian?
I was for many,
okay.
many years, but now I try to sneak in protein in every way possible.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
What
now,
about
of
you?
course,
What's your favorite?
a favorite food? Of course, Chinese food. Chinese food. I like Chinese spicy food.
Could you imagine brisket? I like traditional.
I also like a good bagel too. So it's like but if it's a favorite, a Chinese food.
Okay, so sushi and salads.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. So So imagine there's no pandemic, no rules right now. What country would you like to travel to and spend 6 months there? Just do nothing and enjoy.
I can't do nothing. I never do nothing. I'm always. So you have to set aside time for me to write or work or put
Okay.
But
Okay.
also, and I want to be out there. So 6
country?
months, you threw me with the 6 months because without the 6 months, I'm going to Madagascar or Ecuador.
Oh, wow. You want to go there longer or shorter?
Shorter than 6 months.
Okay.
I don't want to do, I don't need any more than like 3 weeks to
Yeah.
in either of those or a month.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I might hit South Africa because then I can scoot on over to,
Now we're
Madagascar.
talking. Uh-huh.
Australia, so like Sydney,
Yeah.
beaches, all that.
Yeah.
I've got friends, I've got people down there that I really need to get to go see. And New Zealand.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
But let me see. I have
You become very organic.
even more organic. They don't even need to call it organic there. Because it's just what they do.
They'll do, yeah.
But the country, and also we have really good friends from Estonia.
Oh, yeah?
And so, at some point I'd like to put in a few good months in Estonia.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Yeah. So, if you would write a book, what title would that be?
How I Failed in Hollywood.
What is your favorite television these days? Like when you turn on television, if you do, what do you watch the first thing?
I'm waiting for a few shows to come up with their next season.
Oh, yeah?
I want to see The Unicorn. I would like to see another season of The Unicorn, which is just a very lighthearted Yeah, they're not going to make another season of Black AF, which I'm very upset about. Kenya Barris. But they are going to, it looks like they're going to parlay that into a series of films, vacation films. So that's good. I really liked The Politician, and I'm waiting for another season of The Politician. There's some things for you.
Yeah. I love that show. What is it called? About president. Oh, it's escaping me. Yeah. But
Which
anyway, the guy he was in it, and he was playing the president. Now the
Oh, The
show
West
was
Wing?
called, no.
By the way, I watched.
Shape of something.
Oh, okay. I don't know it.
Oh,
I watched The West Wing
Yeah.
during the pandemic for the first time.
West Wing is good.
Newsflash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say West Wing, top 3 shows of all time. The Wire,
Yeah.
top 3 shows of all time. And for some
Yeah.
reason, I'm blanking on the other of the top 3 shows of all time.
Yeah, you know what? When the television Netflix show the bad what is it called? Bad it's about methamphetamine.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad came out. I just watched like continuously, for a few weeks.
People will probably say that's one of the top 3 shows of all time. I have not seen it.
Really?
And there's a reason why I haven't seen it.
It's really violent though. But it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Because the topic?
This is good. I don't no. So I had just finished The Wire when I went to go watch it.
Oh.
And it's a very different style of filmmaking. It had the story and the style were so diametrically opposed. There was this real deep, rooted in journalism richness, and in terms of the art of it and the way that they made and the layers of the characters and all that stuff with the way they made The Wire, and that's what made that great. And I think some of the things that made Breaking Bad great, it didn't have the same resonance for me, and I just felt like, oh, this is too thin, it's too grating, it felt aggressive in a different way. So I just was like, I can't do this right now. And then I just never got back to it. So I will at some point.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's continue. Thank you. Okay, I want to take you to a happy hour right now. What would you order?
I would get a mojito. And it's not that every time. It's just that I would love a mojito right now.
Well, that mint helps. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. So now.
And by the way, let's do that. I love New York. Next time I'm there, let's go get a mojito.
Yeah. Well, except I quit drinking.
That's okay. You can have the near beer.
I'll just have a virgin one.
You have the near beer. I'll have the mojito.
Oh yeah.
Good for you. I heard. Yeah, what are you, 90 days? Where are you?
149 days.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
One day at a time. Keep it going, sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So if you have a chance of having dinner with 3 person, who would that be? Who would they be? Pick 3 person.
Individually or together?
Individually.
Okay.
Live.
They have to be alive? Well, I think I definitely want to have somebody political in there because I'd like to understand what the hell goes on in our government. One of the people that I would wait, they have to be alive?
Oh, they can be dead too.
Okay, thank you.
One dead,
if I ask the question enough times, this is what I want. Because I'd really like to talk to my paternal grandparents, or if I had to pick one, probably my paternal grandfather, because I never got to meet him. I'm named after him. And my dad's family came from, I'd always heard Russia, but basically I think it's the Ukraine. And he had, I think 11 to 13 siblings, I know for sure that 3 of them came to the United States, he and 2 brothers. And I didn't even know that I had this massive family until I got onto Facebook in the mid 2000s, and I just decided to search my last name, which is not very common. And I found this whole family, and I put together a family reunion, and my dad hadn't seen a couple of those people since he was married, and since he got married, many decades before, 50 years before. So I would like to talk to my paternal grandfather about why he left Russia, about his relationship, because it seemed like he had this really beautiful romance with his wife, my dad's mother. They left their country. I know there was some persecution there for, being Jewish, and what was it like making your way here in the US at that time? And I would love to talk to him. So he's probably the top one. For living politicians, I'm going to go right now with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because that little fighter, she has got, she's smart, she's of the people, she is connected to what's going on with working Americans. She's seen the belly of the beast, and I would love to know what specifically she's been up against from her, just a meal with her. And, that would be and I feel like that's possible in my lifetime. So I'm just, and then I guess number 3, I actually have a list here, because I went and I saw your that you were doing this with people, and I was like, oh shit, if she asks me that, I have no idea. So I cheated. I'm going to read my list out loud, and then I'm going to tell you who I decided was number 3. So this is my list. Mark Wahlberg, Matt Damon, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Sally Field, Morgan Freeman, Kristen Bell, George Clooney for his human rights work. I mean it. Nancy Pelosi, Michelle Obama, Ruth Gordon.
Yes.
Bob, my paternal grandfather, and then I wrote my grandmother as well, Bob Iger, and Richard Branson. And I guess I'll pick Richard as the 3rd, because he's also another never played by the rules, just played by his own playbook, and followed his passions, and just a real innovator, and has invested in some really cool forward-thinking stuff. And so that's my 3rd. So my grandfather, Alexandria, and Richard Branson.
Great choices. Great. Your list is awesome. All of them.
Anybody on my list that you would want to have a meal with?
You just no, you actually inspire me to think about someone I have not thought about that yet. Is I want to have dinner with Anthony Bourdain.
Ooh, yeah.
Really pick his brain out, what the fuck you left us for, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure that's very personal, and so you may find out what was really going on.
So anyway, so one more question. It's very boring because I have to go. Someone is coming. One more question. Coffee or tea?
Malibu.
What is that?
Well, Malibu is like a city in LA, a little town up here. But which, by the way, I don't know why I'm promoting Malibu. I've never lived there. If I was going to promote, it should really say Santa Monica.
Oh, by the way, even the question is not a rapid fire. How did you end up in Los Angeles?
Okay, I'll answer that. But
Okay.
I guess it's pretty much like 80% coffee. But I do love tea.
Okay, me too. Me too. I love tea. Yeah, but I have to have a coffee in the morning. So yeah, let's quick question. Quick question. How did you land it in Los Angeles?
So my first trip to Los Angeles was when I was on the gymnastics team. I did gymnastics at George Washington University.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you were child being abused. Did you do it like a really young? Do the gymnastic when you were young?
No one ever touched me inappropriately.
I mean the other way. I mean, like abuse meaning people are trained, like all they do is gymnastic, like.
Yes, I was very focused on it. It definitely, defined certain parts of, the first, couple decades of my life. And I should say nobody ever touched me inappropriately within the world of gymnastics. And that was the first time I came to LA with my college gymnastics team, and my dreams of, there were a couple of girls on the team. In fact, my really good friend and roommate, Beth Schuler, who became now Beth Grieve, and I were like, we're moving to LA.
Yeah.
And do you know which town in the Ukraine your family came from? In fact, I do. It's called like Komorograd. Nikhil is asking me a question. It's called Komorograd, and somehow I figured that out. I can't remember. I used Ancestry to get to the bottom of that. And it's, a version of it still exists, and I really want to go there. But it's not first on the list, as you've heard. Thank you for asking that. I wonder if Nikhila wants to actually talk more about that. Maybe we will. And that was the first time that, she and I were like, we're moving to LA. And then I ended up applying to grad school, and I got into USC for grad school. And so I moved to LA to go to USC.
Wow. Wonderful.
And then I actually, after that, moved to, when I was at USC, I ended up, this is actually really cool. One of my professors came in one day and said, does anybody want to go help out somebody at the actor's studio? They need a dresser to help them during their show. So they're doing a play and they need someone to help them change clothes during the show. And I was like, me. And I was so shocked. I looked around and I was like, why isn't anybody else raising their hand? What are these guys are idiots? And I was like, and so she introduced me to Renee Taylor and Joe Bologna, who were this incredible, Renee's still working. Joe sadly passed away a few years ago, but if you look them up, you'll know exactly who they are. And I went and I did that job for them, and then I became their personal assistant after that.
Wow.
So just only a few years out of grad school, they took me to New York, because they also had a house in New York, and we shot a movie there. And I was on that movie like soup to nuts. Like we were the first people to show up because they were the writer directors, and we were the last people to leave. And so I went and while I was there in New York, I lived with my boyfriend from college, and we were like, oh yeah, we still like each other. So I ended up moving to New York for a few years. So it went, I went, East Coast, then LA for grad school, then Renee and Joe, then moved to New York for 3.5 years. And then my boyfriend and I at the time both booked a showcase in LA. And we're like, we got a showcase in LA. This is it, baby. The big time. We got to move back to LA. So then we moved back to LA, and that was like 26 years ago. And I've been here ever since.
Oh my God. Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. You are your own destiny. You raised that hand, and then you are today. Sometimes it's just one thing leads to another. I always believe that, right? One little thing and changes the whole scope of your history. Okay, I gotta go because someone's coming in 30 seconds.
It was nice to talk to you, Ching. See you later. Bye, everybody. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. Bye. Bye.